This week's episode, we're asking us anything. I'm joined by Jason, our video director, and it all starts in just a few seconds.
The Grid is brought to you by Platypod, the tripod alternative that is changing the world. Everybody has a Platypod. You should too. Go to platypod.com.
There's Jason. All right, Jason's back, so we're in trouble, guys. A little change of plans. Scott was going to be here, but had something come up, so he's not going to be here today. But we got Jason stepping in,
hey guys.
Our video director. I know we've had him on the show before. We've talked some funny stuff. And you ran into any good cactuses lately?
No, I've been safe.
Cactus free?
Yeah, it's definitely safer.
All right. And if you don't know, we told a story a while ago where Jason does tend to get a little risky out on set, especially when we're traveling. And sometimes you drop into some cactuses, all that good stuff. So I still think it was so lucky that you had that backpack on.
Oh, I know.
If you wouldn't have had that backpack on, I think we would have had to probably take you to the hospittal.
Yeah, so I fell back into the
Cholla cactus, which has little barbs. They're they're hard to pull out.
Yeah, it went into my head, like I had them up in here.
And then it stopped at your backpack, and then started up more towards your back region. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You had a couple in your back region there.
Yeah. So that was
below region. That was fun.
And ever since then, Scott has been very like, Jason, you can't take risks.
Yes.
So we were in Portugal, and we're trying to shoot the castle, and there was this cross, and we're on top of this like big, I don't know how to explain it. It was like a mountain. Yeah. And we're climbing up, and Scott's like, "Don't you dare get up there!" And so he's prevented me from taking those type of risks anymore.
Yeah. However, when you go out with me, we still take risks. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Right? You got to get the shot, right?
Yeah.
You got to get the shot. And then, if anything, the video guys are a little bit more reckless when it comes to got to get the shot than us photographers.
Well, and I got to say, too, with the one with Rami and you, even after the cactus, I finished the job.
You did. You finished it. Again, without that backpack, we probably wouldn't have finished that shoot. Yeah. So, good thing that backpack saved you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, nowadays, I will say, because you fly... you're a licensed drone operator, so you have your Part 107 license, so you fly a drone. That really helps, though, sometimes, right? Not having to take as much risk.
No, absolutely.
The drone takes the risk.
Well, as you know, too, it's been harder and harder to fly drones lately because of all the restrictions, but when you can fly the drone, it's amazing. Yeah. And I'm getting great shots. I use them all the time for editing. It's just like if you don't know where to go, you just show a drone shot and everyone's happy.
Yep, there you go. Awesome. Well, hey, so we're doing an open Q&A day. Ask us anything. Obviously, I think the one caveat is I'm not going to probably take any political questions. I'll avoid that like the plague. But anything else we'll pretty much answer here on the show. So just ask us whatever you'd like to know. Photography, KelbyOne, production, video. Just anything that you're interested in, we'll answer them here on the show. A couple things we do. We have prizes today, so we've got prizes to give it away. So we've got Scott's new iPhone photography book, which this has been a hot seller for years, and now it's just updated to a second edition. It's coming out just in a little over a month. It'll be released. It'll probably be on Rocky Nook sooner than that, but you're going to get an ebook copy of that if you win today. So we've got that. We've also got the night photography book. So if you want to learn all about night photography, we got that book for you to win today. I was actually just came back from the Nightscapers conference where we were talking all about things in the book. Planning was a big one, and all the planning stuff that we do for night photography. And then the Lightroom Classic book. So we're giving away a copy of the Lightroom Classic book if you want to learn everything about Lightroom Classic, and that's one of the things that I noticed at the conference I was just teaching at. The mystery around Lightroom Classic tends not to be the thing that we use the most, the develop module, just getting in the develop module. The reason why most people, I feel like, don't like, because when I was going through one of my classes, I was teaching, and one of the modules we were teaching on is how Lightroom is awesome for organizing your photos. Right. But a lot of people don't think Lightroom is awesome for organizing photos because they do one thing wrong. And that's where this book will help you, and also Scott's class will help you on KelbyOne. There's a bunch of classes on this about using folders rather than using collections.
Collections is the way to go.
Yes, and that's what at the end of the day, like the people that were hating Lightroom were the people that are using folders. And I know there's gonna be a reason why people say they do this and do that, but if you want to love your Lightroom life, go over to KelbyOne. Check out, Scott has a track called, it's the complete Lightroom learning system. So it's learning Lightroom and how to use it. And he starts off with the importing and the organization part. And that's the part that we all skip over.
Right.
And then we end up hating
get in there
it.
and start editing.
Yeah.
Right?
We want to go right to editing, right?
Yeah.
But if you organize well and you get it structured well, then you really enjoy the editing process so much more. And I know you helped film a lot of those classes, so.
Yeah, no, I'm guilty. I should do a better job. Every time I watch Scott's class, I'm like, I should be doing this a little differently.
Yeah.
But it's a great class to watch and
Yeah,
learn.
like that one right there, that Lightroom Easy Organization
The
System. Leo. If you hate Lightroom for organizing, watch that class, and you will not. Now, you have to follow it. You can't just like watch it and not do it. But once you implement the system, that's what changes for people. And I actually had one attendee who was in there and said, look, I went through this. I hated Lightroom. I hated the organization, all that. Now I love it.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you need a system.
Well, and the one thing with Scott, too, it's never too late to start the new system.
Yes.
Like, even if you've done it wrong, or I shouldn't say wrong, you've done it
a different
not
way.
the way he's done it, he'll show you how to get into it and maintain from scratch, and it won't mess up. You won't be messed up with it the way you've been doing it.
Yes, exactly. So we're going to give away that, the Lightroom Classic book. Then we're giving away a Platypod handle. So this is if it doubles as a lightsaber prop, but you could also you can raise up your Platypod like a tripod, a ball head a little bit up. You can use it as like a grip as well. There's a bunch of uses for it, but we're going to give that away on the show today. So now we're also, I think, are we giving away a copy? Yes, there we go. On One No Noise.
Yep.
Great plugin for removing noise from your photo. If you want to go beyond what Lightroom's AI denoise will do, and you want it to work a lot faster, that's where On One No Noise steps in. All right. So those are the prizes. So just go over to kel.by / I think it's grid prize. I don't know exactly. They'll probably bring it up for me. But it's something like kel.by / grid prize, I think. Does that sound right, Christina?
Yes.
That sounds right. So put it in the chat. So grid prize. So just go over there, kel.by / grid prize, and you go there, you fill out the form,
There you go.
you tell us what you want to win, and then we'll pick the winner at the end of the show. That helps us because we have your information already. You don't have to, we don't have to get in contact with you afterwards. We can send your prize right out to you. All right. So next, we got one other thing, big thing coming up. We got the people photography, the photographing people
Yeah, this is going to be an
conference.
awesome conference,
Right.
guys.
Yeah, I know you're looking forward to it. What are you doing for it? I think you guys are going out next week to do something for it as well, right?
Yeah, so I'm shooting with Russell Brown next Tuesday. Well, actually, it'll be Wednesday morning.
So we're going out on location for this
Yep.
class, yeah.
So I'm flying into Vegas.
Speaking of Vegas, that shot right there, right at the top there with Scott Kelby, that's shot in Vegas, and I contributed to that shot. If you look at that,
that's
that
an amazing shot.
dust in the background, that is me taking a four-wheel drive vehicle
burnout.
and just driving back and forth to create the smoke there, right?
Yeah, that's an amazing
So
shot.
we're out on a dry lake bed that you could be out on. We had a permit. So.
Actually, you've never seen that shot. That's a great shot.
Yeah, I love it. It was a great location.
Yeah, so Russell Brown, he'll be the fourth one over.
Russell.
Brown. He works for Adobe. He's one of the OGs of Adobe.
Yep, OG, definitely.
And so,
for Photoshop.
yep, he helped develop it, right?
Back in the day, he was like one of the first people educating on it, teaching on it, advocating for it, all that good stuff.
So we're going to record with him in a studio in Vegas with Kirk Marsh, and he will be, and he's also an instructor, as you guys know. He's a clown in the circus also.
Yeah.
This guy's got multiple talents. But he will be the actual model for Russell. So I'm
cool.
going to be recording Russell Brown taking pictures of Kirk, and then developing that or editing it into a class for the people conference.
Oh, cool.
And we'll use
Yeah, I mean, I like that. You know, a lot of our lessons we do live.
Correct.
But every once in a while, and I know Russell sometimes scheduling conflicts, stuff like that.
Yep.
But it's nice to have those classes as well in the conference. So you get the on location classes, you get some classes where people are teaching live. Then you get some on other studio classes as well.
Yeah, and it gives it, good variety.
Good variety.
This is, we'll edit this because there's no way I dare to say it would be hard to pull off what we're going to do live.
Yes.
Because we're going to have multiple setups. There's just
Yeah.
too much. So I just talked to Russell last night about his rundown. We're going to have at least 3 really cool setups for different different scenes of what.
And he's amazing at that stuff. I love seeing how he works. I love his brain, all that good stuff. He's been out to my workshops before. Yeah, it's just cool to see him like develop a scene.
And you guys know we use all types of cameras. Russell's primarily the iPhone, so he's going to be doing most of his. This class will be on the iPhone.
Yeah, but it's just a camera,
Correct.
right? It's a mirrorless camera.
Yep.
That's all it is. So it applies no matter what you own. It will apply to you as well. But that's what I love about this conference. This is a little different than a conference we've done in the past, right? This is not a portrait photography conference. This is not a flash photography. It's not it's basically everything that encompasses photographing people, right? And we do all different types of genres. Like we're going to have something on landscape photography where, you know, a big thing in landscape photography is putting a person in your scene.
Right.
And how to compose a person in your scene, in your landscape. Like we're going to have a class on that. We're going to have a class on kids and children and, you know, that's,
Sweeney.
like that stuff.
Yep.
So there's going to be all different kinds. And then there's stuff on, there is stuff on fashion and there's some stuff on headshots.
I'm looking
just
forward
everything.
to seeing the like travel type.
Yeah, the
Like,
travel
people
photography.
from different areas of the world.
Exactly.
That's going to be amazing.
So that's what's different about this one is it's not necessarily a portrait or a wedding conference, you know, which is usually what people think about in that genre. This is a conference for all the things where we're putting people as part of the subject in our frame. So I'm really looking forward to that because I do love that style of photography. It tends not to be what I do a lot of, but I wish I did more of it. So that's why I'm looking forward to it, is because I'm get to learn from other people on that.
No,
stuff.
I learned so much from these conferences. So we'll have 20
classes.
20 classes,
20 different
guys.
classes.
Think of how much content that is.
And then what's cool is if you come to the conference, you sign up early, you get the early bird discount, but then you get access for an entire year after the conference for all the classes. And we run 2 tracks, so you can't that's kind of sometimes with conferences, like you have multiple tracks, and if you go live to a conference, you can only go to 1 track.
Right.
Here you can go to every track, you can go to the tracks live, but then you can also
watch it
later so you can pause and rewind, but you can see everything that you missed as well.
Yeah, and some of these are really intense too, where you will need to watch it a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, because you'll have to take notes and like really, if you really want to dive into
go step by step. Yeah, you can go step by step through it. So really cool. All right, so you can go over to KelbyOneLive.com and sign up for that right now. The early bird's going on, so now's the time to get into the conference right now.
Yeah, get that discount, guys.
Yeah, got to get that discount. All right. And looks like we got some shout outs here. We've got John Dukes saying hi.
Hey, John Dukes.
He's saying hello from very rainy Maryland. It's awesome to see Jason outside the control room. Jason, you look great. There you go.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. So
I've been working out.
Yeah, and then James is saying, I remember that story. I have respect for the nasty things in the desert. It is. The desert can be definitely pointy
well, you know what's funny?
all that good stuff.
Because the cactus got me, but I was actually worried about snakes.
Yes,
I was actually worried the whole time about snakes, and I got taken out by the cactus.
Got taken out by the cactus. Right. Patricia's saying hello from Colorado. Jen Beatty, hey Jen, saying hi from Columbus, Ohio. Lyle's saying hi from Utah. I'll be out there in just a few weeks. Suzanne saying hi from Montana. Diane saying hi from Smyrna, Georgia. Grumpy Mike saying hi from Tampa. Raymond saying hi from South Dakota. I'll be out there in July. Yeah. And then Nina saying hi from wet Pennsylvania, which, yeah, a lot of rain coming up. Finally, we're getting some rain here in Tampa.
We need it.
We were really dry.
I have one bush that I was like, it's not going to make it.
I know. I actually was starting to think, like, this reminds me of being in the Southwest.
Yep.
Like, it really was getting, like, super dry.
Yeah.
And then the last couple weeks, it really started opening up. So
I had my lawn
it's been
guys
nice.
come, and they just look at my yard, and they're like, no,
We don't need to cut it. We don't need to cut
Okay,
it.
saved
Mine's
a
the
couple
same.
bucks, yeah.
It was like, yeah, we don't need to cut it. Yeah. Sharon saying, has Scott ever thought of having a workshop in Greenland?
Ooh.
I doubt it, because he does travel photography. I know I've talked to Rick Salmon about that, because Rick's done some cool stuff in Greenland, and I would love to go to Greenland. It's on my bucket list. I'm just not sure if Scott would, just because I don't think that Greenland has too much travel photography.
Right.
You know, the cities I've seen in Greenland are kind of like villages.
Right, yeah, it's not like a big metro.
All right. So, hey, we've got to take a break, because the control room, Jason's out here, but the control room is doing the same thing Jason does to us. And
I
he's telling
taught Ron everything he knows.
Yeah, so he's telling him we got to take a break. So when we get back, we'll be answering your questions. Again, just ask us anything. We'd love to answer your questions. We'll be talking about everything else. If we don't get any questions, we'll listen to Jason's favorite food recommendation.
I've been adding the Photoshop magic to movie posters and images for ad campaigns for about 35 years. I'm excited to have a class on compositing. We're going to talk about layer structure, what goes on top and what goes on bottom of your layer stack so that everything makes sense. We're going to talk about masking, lighting, adding shadows, color correction. We're going to talk about depth of field, how you control that and how you use that to focus the eye. And then finally, we're going to talk a little bit about color grading and how you pull it all together with a little bit of a texture on top. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to have a chance to share this with you. Come see my class at KelbyOne.com.
Hey guys, Frank Dorhoff here. Welcome in our studio in the Netherlands and welcome to a new class on KelbyOne. Do you ever wonder, like, how can we get more creative with our photography? Are you a little bit afraid when you look at those websites and you can see all those props and they are pretty expensive and you don't know what to buy? Why not start with the stuff that you already have? Why not get some, let's say, emergency blankets, or maybe get a torch? If the light is too bright or too large, use a little bit of piece of cardboard. You will find out that in this class, you will look at your photography equipment in a totally different way. There are no more excuses. I don't have expensive gear. I don't have expensive backdrops. After this class, you will make the best of even an emergency blanket. Join me on this new class on KelbyOne to create great images with cheap materials that you can find in and around your house. And you probably already have a load of them that I'm going to show you in this class. See you online.
live studio audience. But
Yeah.
he's kind of like, he's a little muted, right?
Yeah.
So we're back. We got some people's questions here.
Great.
Let's start with one, right? Let's start with this one.
Okay.
This one's very timely. Summer's coming up, and 4th of July will be here in a few weeks. Any tips for successful firework pics? You ever done fireworks?
Yeah, you were going to want to do a long exposure.
Yes. So I think the number one tip I would have is a tripod.
Yep.
Yes. So we need a tripod because, like Jason said, we're going to do a long exposure. So we want the firework to be going up in the air, exploding, and we want over that period when it bloats out to capture in like a trail, right?
Correct.
So we can see it. So that means I tend to be, mattering on how fast and furious the fireworks are, between 2 and 8 seconds.
Okay.
8 seconds tends to be pretty good. If you go much longer than that, you might get a bunch of bursts.
Correct.
Like finales are hard, like because you have to go a little slower
Yeah, and it
because
gets a
they
little
get so
muddy.
much.
Yeah.
And if there's too much, but like Jason said, we're going on manual mode, right?
Yep.
So our ISO can be lower because of that.
Yeah, because obviously the fireworks are super bright. Yeah.
Yeah, so ISO 100 is kind of a good starting point. ISO 100, and then probably F8 or F11, right? And then,
Absolutely,
like we said, like try 8 seconds.
Yep.
And basically, as you see the firework going up, start that 8 seconds. It'll explode. It'll kind of capture it during that time, and then you'll see that the explosions, right?
Yeah, and obviously 4th of July is great because they're going to shoot a lot of them.
Yes.
And you got some time to experiment. So
Yes.
you can have some mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be like, oh, this one was too long or too short. And then by the end of it, you should have something.
The other thing is, I would say, manual focus, right? That you want to manual focus. You want to probably focus in a distant object or something in the distant plane of like, you could just focus in like your lenses like infinity and you'll probably be good, but you want something where you're focused farther away, and then you want a manual focus, because if you're automatic focus at night, it's just going to start hunting, and when the explosions happen, it's going to get off. So again, manual exposure, manual focus. What it is, we're going to say F11 ISO 100, right? 8 seconds. If you take shots and you're like, hey, it's too bright, well, that means I either got to go to F13 or I've got to go to 6 seconds or 4 seconds. If you're at ISO 100, you can't adjust that.
Correct.
But let's say it's too dim. Well, you might be able to go to ISO 200 or ISO 400, or you might be able to go a little longer time. But in general, that's kind of where you're going to want to camp out.
Yeah, I like to mess with the shutter mostly with that type of stuff more than
Me too.
any other setting. But
yeah,
I mean, you can experiment too. I mean, you can also have something in the foreground in focus with the fireworks behind it. That would be a cool shot too.
Now, the other thing you can do, and this is what I tend to go to, is I'm usually, like I said, ISO 100 F11, manual focus, manual exposure, and then on a tripod. But we could also do bulb mode. And what you could do is you could just trigger right before, you can see the fireworks kind of trail up, and so you trigger it right before, then you let them explode. Then when they stop and you're like, that's exploded enough to fill my frame, I just
then you have control instead of having it like a 6 second.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's a little bit more fancy. You don't have to do that. I mean, you can do whatever.
No, I love shooting fireworks because that's a great experimenting with your camera and other settings. Like, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it helps you understand the light and how the light works and how long exposures work, all that good stuff. And then just understand, as you get towards a finale, the finales, the more light that's out there, the more muddy that might start looking.
Right.
So you can't do as long of exposures if there's a bunch of explosions. Right. So there you go. I think that's about it.
Oh, and then I had a question for you.
Yeah.
It's because you had the nightscaper.
I did.
So I wanted to hear about that, how that went.
Oh, it was awesome. I love that event. It's great. It's a bunch of night photographers that come together, and it's nightscapes. So it tends to not be like so much as like deep space astrophotography, as wide field kind of like night landscapes.
Okay.
Right. So we were in Farmington, New Mexico, which is kind of the Four Corners region of New Mexico. Cool Badlands over there, which I love Badlands. So there was cool Badlands over there.
How many people were there?
There's a few hundred people.
Oh, wow,
so
that's
it's
a lot.
it's a pretty big conference. It's probably the biggest for night photography or night
Right.
wide field photography. So it was really cool. And what's great about it is, your class is during the day, you're shooting at night. This time of year, they usually do it two times during the year, usually like in this May kind of time frame, and then usually in the September time frame.
Which is good
for the May
weather?
Well, it's probably just it's different, right? In May, your Milky Way is more like horizontal.
Okay.
In September, your Milky Way, when you're shooting, is more straight up. So it's just a little different. Still equally good. The only thing with May is it tends to be a little bit more painful because the optimal times tend to be like midnight, 1, 2, 3 a.m.
Really late
so
night,
you got these early late nights.
Morning.
So that's the one thing that. But you know what? I just lost a little sleep and continued.
Yeah,
on with it.
I can't wait to see some pics from that.
Yeah. I just posted a couple on social, so there's at least one on social that we were doing at a thing called Arch Rock. So there's this arch rock. So I took a twilight shot, and then I did a track sky, which I'm still surprised. The one thing I'm surprised. I talked about the Lightroom thing.
Yep.
Right. The other thing that I'm really surprised at is how many night photographers don't know the power of a star tracker. Right.
Okay.
And the great one that I love for wide field is the Move Shoot Move Nomad. They came out with it a couple years ago. Okay. Love that one.
I think I've seen you use it. I personally haven't used those yet.
Yeah. But it's so awesome. Like I use the Nomad with a wedge.
Ooh, yeah.
Like that first one there. And actually I was doing a photojournalism assignment with the very large array, the VLA, if you've ever seen that, like from the movie Contact. You got these big telescopes. I was out there doing a photojournalism assignment there as well.
Nice.
Here, look I can bring it up because I know they're not logged in, but you can see it over here.
Yeah, no, that
you
looks
can see
cool.
the
And
picture.
the antenna.
Yeah, this one.
Oh, yeah,
right there.
that's.
So, there you go.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
But you can
That's
see
crazy.
how like the sky is like very vibrant and a lot of colors. That's because I'm tracking the sky. I'm shooting that exposure over 4 minutes, right? Now I'm having to composite this track sky in with the foreground, so I have to do that when I'm getting into tracking.
Okay.
But what's great about that, I think, is, and I was shooting also at f5.6, so my stars get a lot sharper, a lot more detail. I'm able to shoot at a much lower ISO, so I'm shooting that, I think, at 1600 ISO, so I'm not shooting it at a very high ISO.
Okay.
Because the sky, if you look at me, I'll just explain it. Like the sky's moving through this.
Yep.
Through. The star tracker, all it's doing is counteracting that movement. So think of it like, when you're panning with a bird, and if you're panning at the same speed as the bird's sharp.
Correct.
Think about it with the stars. If I'm panning with the stars at the same speed the stars are moving, my stars are sharp.
And how long are you doing that then?
4 minutes.
Wow,
8
4
minutes.
minutes. That's
Sometimes
crazy,
I
yeah.
can go 8 minutes with I've done it. Rami and I have done it. And we've tested it. We've gone 8 minutes with the Nomad at a wide angle, like 14 millimeters.
Okay.
The more telephoto you are, like 24 millimeters, you might be able to get away with 6 minutes. Then 35 millimeters, you might be able to get away with 4 minutes.
Okay.
The more close you get, the shorter you can, or the longer you can go.
No,
that's
shorter neat.
You can go.
Yeah, I gotta try that.
Yeah, and well, here's the other thing that I think people don't understand about it. So the device and all the equipment to do the star tracking is maybe about $350, right?
Okay.
But that takes any lens you own, pretty much any kit lens, because like I was saying, I was shooting at f5.6.
Right.
Any lens that somebody owns is now a Milky Way lens.
Right.
So you don't need, because
You don't
one of
need
the
the real
one of the
expensive
barriers
lens. Yeah.
for night photography a lot of times is I'll pull out a f 1.8 lens, and people
Yeah.
will be like, "Yeah, I wish I could have a $3,500 lens."
Right.
Well, if you put a star tracker in there,
Yeah.
and it's $350, that means any lens they own. In fact, like I said, that lens that I was using was an f4 lens
Okay.
that I put at f5.6, so I could get it a little sharper.
No, that's
it was
awesome,
actually
yeah.
it's because that's a wide angle shot there. I was using the Canon 10 to 20 f4 with the star tracker.
Okay.
And that star tracker, I mean, that just changes the whole game.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Like, and then that opens up that genre. Now,
Ryan, can you show it one more time, please? I
the-
just want to see it again.
the hard thing is with this is
Yeah, that's crazy.
you do have to know you're not spending as much money on a lens, but you're spending more time to learn an application called Photoshop.
Right. Yeah,
If-
that's what I was going to say.
you know-
You're replacing the sky.
Yes,
With
so
Photoshop.
well, and you're just basically blending in the sky that was there in with the foreground that was there.
Yeah, it looks
right?
great.
That's what you're doing.
So when did you take the foreground shot? What time?
I took that during blue hour. So
Okay.
that's what I do is I tend to take the foreground shot during blue hour, and then the sky shot. The sky was actually at 2 a.m.
Wow.
So 2 a.m.
And you're kind of
foreground
locked
at
down
blue
of
hour.
the location. Like you're kind of like set up with the tripod.
No, all I did
Or
is
you-
I just captured in photo pills what time I wanted the sky shot on, and I shot the sky at that time.
Huh.
Right, and I actually just had a time lapse going of a long track shots. I shot from I think we shot from 12:30 till about 4 a.m. Just a bunch of different skies. So I've got so many skies. Right, this one night was really nice. It had some atmosphere in the sky. So the stars would bloat a little bit. It was just a nice night.
Well, yeah, just the core of the Milky Way looks, I can totally tell based
Yeah.
on what I've shot before because it's
Yeah.
not as crisp and
Yeah, it's
and
just
nice.
got all that detail and all the dark nebulas show up just as well as the bright nebulas. You know, it's really cool. So
Yeah,
again,
great.
if you want to get into it, it's a great and it move shoot move nomad. My kit that I use for that shot, it's a move shoot move nomad with their wedge and their calibrated laser to do the polar alignment on Polaris.
perfect.
So that's the three things, and I believe B&H sells that kit for like $350. The whole
Yeah,
kit
that's a
for
great-
$350.
I think that's going to be my next purchase then.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, it changes any lens. I mean,
Yeah,
I can
'cause
use
that-
any
to
lens
get a shot
at
like
point.
that, that's worth it, yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. All right. Let's see. We got a question here from Sharon B. How hard is it then to create the collections if you created folders in your catalog? This is actually, or is that June? That's I know it's Sharon. How hard is it? Super easy.
Yeah.
Actually, it's super easy. You can right click on the folder and hit create collection from that folder.
Yeah,
it
and
will create
Scott
the
goes
collection.
step by step.
Yeah, he goes through
very
that in the class.
easy to explain
Yes.
all this.
And that's what's cool about it.
Yep.
Like you can, if you've done it the wrong way with folders, you're still in luck.
Yeah,
you
you
could
still
still
can
go through it. So
fix it.
like if you follow that class that Scott talks about that very topic, because most people fall into that camp. I've created it the wrong way. How do I create it the right way?
Right.
But there's an easy way to create those collections.
Yep.
I mean, you could create collections on import too. I do that. Like create collections on import. There's so many things that you can learn how to create collections and manage collections. And then he talks about also, and a lot of people don't know that you could do this, like you could do collection sets. So sets of collections within collections. And then you have smart collections, which gets even cooler. Right? And everything cool that you want to do in organizing your photos happens in collections. Everything bad with organizing your photos happens in folders.
Right.
So if you're using folders, just watch that class.
you
It'll
guys-
take you over to using collections.
You guys know how Scott's been doing this for how many years?
Oh,
We won't
forever.
go there.
Yeah.
But he has been doing this for so long, and he'll be like, I'll be in so many different times where he's like, oh, I did this shot 8 years ago, and he brings it up within 30 seconds.
Like he
and there's no
knows,
way
yeah.
I could
Yeah.
do that, right?
Yeah.
But his organization is so good that he can be like, oh, that shot I did 8 years ago in this place, and within 30 seconds it's there
He's down
on his
to
computer.
it. Yes,
and
it's
ready
because
to edit.
he has a
you know?
system. And but Scott has been, like you said, he's been in the pre-beta version of Lightroom. So
Right.
he's been through the whole journey of
Yeah,
Lightroom.
I've learned so much from him, yeah.
Yeah, me too. So awesome stuff. Dave Young's asking, do you feel that it is still safe to go to Cuba right now? There's flights from Tampa every day. So, I mean, if it wasn't safe, there wouldn't be flights from Tampa
Yeah.
every day. Is it, I would say, I don't want to get into geopolitical
Correct.
issues. However, it is a little weird right now
Yeah.
because of some
Well,
geopolitical
I would
issues.
like any place like that. I would get like a photo guide.
Definitely.
Local guy,
Yeah.
local woman or man. To
Yes,
show
you have to.
around.
You have to have somebody who's.
Yeah, I wouldn't go by myself.
Yeah, I would not go by myself. I would want to go. And actually, if you go from the U.S., you have to have a purpose like that. When you do, you have to be going for a reason. You have to file your
Yep.
reason. There's a couple hoops you have to jump through. that make it a little bit safer.
Yep.
However, that's really when you get down to it is you've got to assess your personal like risk tolerance.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think my wife would be too keen about me going right now.
Correct.
Just because, again, there's other factors going in right now, especially that just came up. Again, don't want to get into all that because it gets into rabbit holes. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be one thing I was going to say there. You got to realize if you're going to go, it's going to be way more inconvenient than maybe it's been in the past. Like, there's going to be a little bit more of that. And so, I don't know. Probably not the best time.
Yeah, I would choose someplace else right at this moment.
Right at this moment. Good choice there. All right. Pat's asking, question. I'm looking to buy a Seestar S30 Pro. Can good pics be taken where one can print like a 11 by 14 or 16 by 20? Absolutely. In fact, I think if they go over to that set, they can bring a metal print on this set over here that I printed from not an S30 Pro, but from an S30, which has less than a quarter of the resolution of the S30 Pro. And that picture, I believe, is 16 by 20.
Yeah, Juan's getting it.
Yeah, there it is. So this is from light polluted Tampa in my backyard, which is like worst case scenarios here. And that's what you got out of the Horsehead and Flame Nebula. Again, worst case scenarios, light polluted as crap, all that good stuff, not great. That's actually processed from their stacked version. So it's everything that I wanted to basically say, everything that could be bad with this thing, let's do it bad and see how we could go good. And that's when you get down to it. So the S30 Pro is going to be 4 times the resolution of that. So to answer your question,
really
and that looks really good.
It looks really, really good.
So, all right.
I mean, look at like right in here.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, and honestly, to just the fact that it does the stacking for you, it does all that stuff for you. Is it going to be like, oh my gosh, Hubble Space Telescope quality? No, but it's really cool that I'm in my backyard in a Bortle 9 taking that shot.
Yeah, we don't work for Bay Photo, but look at this. This thing is nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
It's a metal print.
It's a metal print from Bay Photo. So there you go. So yeah, I think that's where at the end of the day, I totally understand that though. I understand the question because when we see resolution, now the one thing that a lot of people don't understand about the resolution part of deep space astrophotography, that image was taken over 6 hours. Right?
Yep.
So 6 hours of data. So what happens with 6 hours of data is as it's stacking up, and that's 6 hours of data taking 10-second exposures in light pollution with a filter on.
Yep.
So that stacks up all that data. When it's stacking the data, it's averaging out the noise.
Yep.
So the noise that's in the sensor gets averaged out with mathematics. So all you're left with is a signal, and that's why in that image, I actually did not do any denoising to it.
Which is crazy, right?
Like
you did that here in Florida.
In Florida, in my backyard, and light polluted Bortle 9, like the worst you can get.
Yeah.
But because of that long amount of time, and the amount of photos it's stacking, the sensor noise at those high ISOs that small sensor has, they just get averaged out.
Yeah.
And the noise goes away, and all you're left with is a signal.
Yeah, so it does it for you.
Yes, it does it for you. I mean, that's not the raw file. That was I let the Seestar give me the file.
Yep.
I just wanted to see again what's the worst case scenario, and try to print that out.
And because I follow your followers, and he's inspired a lot of people. Because I see a lot of people trying it, and it's all looking good.
Yeah, it's all looking good. Yeah. I mean, again, you know what the thing with the Seestar, it's what I used to dream of when I was shooting deep space astrophotography like 15 years ago.
Yep.
I always dreamed that there'd be devices that would just do all this painful stuff that we had to do.
It's tedious.
And I just love that people can do that nowadays because I think it gets more people interested in this stuff. When it becomes so hard and elusive, I can get where people sometimes, photographers can get like, well, you got to pay your dues and you're not doing it the right way. But I just feel like, hey, this is awesome that there's devices.
Doing like that where it makes it, I want to say easy, but it makes it where you can do it. You know, you can start looking at different nebulas than worrying about just the one shot and trying to get it perfect.
Yeah, because if you think about it, you would have to do the same thing. If you do it with a DSLR or you do it with a mirrorless and you set up the tracking mount, you got to take all those photos. You got to stack all those photos. You got to align all those photos. I mean, the computer will do that, but it's still the data and the processing and all that stuff, which again, I enjoyed it. But this process, I enjoy it way more. Yeah. It's cool to just see the image, and the image comes alive on your iPad. You can actually just watch it all night, and it just kind of grows.
Yeah, from what I've been seeing, people trying them, they look so good.
Yeah.
Look at that. We got Ron saying we need a break.
Yep, this is what Jason does to us. And now Jason's getting the same
because when I'm back there, I'm like, come on, guys, take a break. And he has it the entire screen. Well, that's Christina now. Christina's doing this. But it's a whole screen says take a break.
All right, so we'll be right back with Jason here. We're answering your questions, so just ask him.
I'm really excited to tell you about my latest KelbyOne class, the AI Mindset. Now, in this class, I introduce you to the exciting world of AI imaging for photographers. I cover how you can easily transform your snapshots into a more artistic image. I'll also show you how to create AI videos, like the short video I created from a still photo I took in Death Valley. AI is just the newest tool I am using to express my creative vision. It's a tool I think you will enjoy using too. This class is not about buttons and menus. It's about how to think about AI and how you can express your creative vision. You will see that with AI, you are many things: an artist, an art director, a graphic artist, a storyteller, and much more. Here I created an image that illustrates that we are just on the tip of the AI iceberg. So I really hope you can join me for my latest class only on KelbyOne.com.
Hi, this is Hilmar Smith. Light doesn't have to be boring, and light doesn't have to be soft. I'm gonna teach you how to introduce hard light and hard shadows into your photography stories. I'm gonna teach you how you can introduce color, how you can play and make really the best out of your set with all of my favorite tricks and with all of my favorite gear. So if you really want to level up your lighting, come and join me in my newest class at KelbyOne.com.
Hey, I'm Jeff Leinbach. I just finished recording my latest class, a practical guide to picking the right lens. I'm here with a bunch of lenses and we have a great class for you. We talk about different varieties of lenses, different types of lenses, some lens features that you may not have heard of. We even talk about specific lenses for specific uses in photography. For example, if you're a landscape photographer, what are the best lenses to use? If you are an architectural photographer, what are the lenses that I want to make sure that I'm looking at? Those are the things that we're going to talk about in this class. I also have a handful of quick tips that might help you take care of your gear and make your gear function better as we go along. So I encourage you to join me at KelbyOne.com.
All right, we're back. Here we are. There's Jason. All right. Jason has you found a picture on your Instagram, right? This is from 5 years ago.
Yeah, so we're talking about the fireworks again. So I took this at the finale 5 years ago.
So you can see on the screen, on Jason's screen there.
Yeah, look at this.
You see what we're talking about the chaos, right? That at the finale there's a lot going on, which it actually looks pretty cool, very chaotic.
Yeah, I was happy with it, but if you look at it, I did 30 seconds with a Canon. This is when I first got my Canon R6 because Ken here said, "Did you get rid of the Sony?" Laughing, but this is when I first got my R6, 70mm, ISO 100, and then we were just talking about this at break. I use an ND filter, which I don't need. You don't need an ND filter.
Yeah, like you learned over the years.
Yeah.
Hey, if I just went to f11,
right,
that would have been the same as taking the ND filter off.
Right, so I was shooting at f2.8. If I took off the ND filter, that's another piece of equipment I wouldn't need.
Yes.
And shoot at f8.
But I also understand probably why when you were learning back then, years ago, you went to f2.8, is people go at night I need to be at f2.8, right?
Correct. Yes.
And it's like,
and
you
that's
don't.
what I thought. Yeah.
If it's bright enough, you
Yep.
don't need to be at f2.8.
Yep.
So then you put, and then the ND filter is just sunglasses for your camera,
Correct.
right? So if you would have taken, so that was the same, I guess what I'm saying is the same settings we were talking about.
Right.
ISO 100,
Yep.
and then you would have been at f11 if you would have taken the 4 or 5 stop ND off your camera.
Correct.
That you were using.
Yeah, so if I did it now, if I go out to this July 4th, I'm not putting the ND filter on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
so there's learning moments,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that's what photography is about. It's about learning and progressing as you go,
Yep.
and then getting better at it. So there you go. All right, Gail's asking us a question here. Gail Pepin, facts and firearms. Okay, cool. Ideas for HDR pano if you live in a small town.
HDR pano.
I mean, you could do multiple things for HDR panos in a small town,
The city square.
City square. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
or like a downtown, like usually they'll have a main street, right?
Yep.
Like doing a main street kind of like pano. If there's an interesting part of Main Street,
Right.
an old cinema, or something like that, or like you said, a town square.
Yeah, if you had like, I'm just thinking, which you depend on what town, but
Yeah.
if you had almost like a park area with a main center and then the park area on the both
Yeah,
sides,
yeah.
to kind of frame it up.
Yeah, it could be
That'd
cool.
be kinda cool.
But and really honestly, then you also like when you say HDR, right?
Yep.
Pano different because that's what we're saying there. HDR, like why do I use HDR? I use HDR because I need dynamic range.
Yep.
So that usually means the lighting has harsh highlights and harsh shadows that I want to neutralize.
Correct.
So I don't automatically go, well, let me shoot an HDR, right?
Yeah, I don't, well, I think that's probably the assignment, right? There was an assignment we had.
Well, there was an assignment, you
Yeah,
know, so
yeah.
it might be that, but
yeah,
if you're
I would just do pano and then the HDR, like Eric's saying, like if you really need, if there's something weird with the lighting.
yeah, that's what you usually want because again, there's an HDR works best when you have, that's what the name is, high dynamic range.
Yep.
So you've got highlights and shadows that you need to tame to put in your, like for example, if you're shooting flat, overcast, and there's no, like you don't need you don't
Correct.
need HDR. You need highlights and shadows. You need really vibrant sky. Like we do it a lot in landscape photography, and
Yep.
the reason being is the sky will be bright,
Right, and then
the
the-
foreground's kind of darker,
Yep.
right? So if we just expose for the sky, the foreground gets dark,
Correct.
right? If we just expose for the foreground, the sky gets blown out.
I'm thinking right off the top of my head where I'm going with Rami soon is the Grand Canyon would be a perfect example.
Perfect
Because
example.
you have it really bright and then you got a canyon. And
Yes,
then it gets dark.
and HDR would be
and
a
you
great
want
technique.
an HDR there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that would be places. So that's what I would look for is small town places that have a scene where you need a pano. So pano usually means I need to, like Jason was talking about. There's a park over here. There's a town square. There's a park or there's a street, and I need to show the expansiveness of it.
Yep.
So that's the pano part, and then shooting that at a time when maybe the street is in shadow and the sky is
Right.
got a highlight to
Yep.
it. So you need the dynamic range.
Yeah. You can do it.
Yeah, you could do it. Definitely.
It's so fun to practice.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where I go. I could find scenes that will do that. All right. Paintball for Life 89 is asking, how does one break into travel photography from a Rust Belt background and a blue collar job? It seems that a lot of photographers that I met along the way have mostly come from deep family pockets.
Ooh.
I don't know. A lot of the photographers I've met don't come from deep family pockets.
I tend to not, I don't see that
I
myself.
don't see that.
But I mean,
No, it could
you
be.
right
I
in
mean,
your experience,
in
but,
your experiences, yes.
I've seen all walks of life.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, like, yeah.
I mean, well, I guess that it goes back to like talking about the money with the lenses and stuff. Nowadays, like technology has changed it's advanced so much that you can get cheaper gear that can do what more expensive gear did back in the day. Right?
So let's break it down though. Is talk about travel photography, right? So I think one of the things with travel photography can be that if you're talking about I need to travel around the world to capture great images from those locations. Yes, you need money to travel.
Correct.
However, you can find in every pocket of countries. It's like here, I'm just going to use the U.S. because that's where we're based in.
Yep.
That I can take amazing travel photography and stay in the state of Florida.
Correct. Absolutely.
I can be in Maine and get amazing stuff. I can be in the Southwest and get, like, I don't have to travel long distances to get great travel photography. And that's maybe where sometimes in the beginning people think, I've had people talk about this a lot, like, of course, then I could have another side to this argument. Well, let's just start there, where you live in a certain area. Find in that area where you can make amazing travel photography that costs a tank of gas, right?
Yep.
That doesn't cost a plane, flight, and hotels. Tank of gas and sleeping in your car. I've done that many of times.
Well, yeah, and like everyone says, here in Florida, it's tough, but we've been able to find lots of places,
we can find a lot of, but it does take it.
Yeah.
And when I was starting out, that's a lot of it. Literally taking car, sleeping in my car, like doing it. Yeah, I mean, it's hard but when you're starting out and you're saying that there's a limitation, then make that limitation an opportunity, right? So again, I had somebody who's saying that same thing to me, and where they were living, I was going, well, I dreamed to live there. I would dream to live there and this was night photography.
Okay.
And it was up in the Pacific Northwest in an area up in and I'm like, I would love to live where you live and do this compared to where I live.
Correct.
But you're saying your limitation is I need to go here because I see cool shots in Europe. I need to go here because I see cool, like, work on your local area first.
Yeah, and I think it's a challenge too, which is fun challenge.
Yes.
There's a fun challenge to find something that isn't a Paris per se, like, and then going even further than that, if you do want to travel to Paris, there are deals, and Scott mentioned that all the time. You gotta go. You can't say I want to go next week or like even a specific date. There's deals. Delta. Like, they'll throw a
United, Delta.
They'll throw a date at you, and you gotta be like, okay, I can go then.
Yeah,
so then it'll be cheaper.
That's what it is.
There's ways to get around that.
Now, there's the other side of this. That's the other thing. Is it's also with that style of photography, and this is why I think it's better to start local.
Yep.
Get really good at being like, if again, we're here in Florida.
Become an expert,
Lisa Walsh is a great example, KelbyOne instructor. She's become a master of kind of that Southwest Florida, right?
Yes.
That's where she lives.
Yep.
So sells prints and makes money in Southwest Florida.
Yep.
And she's becoming expert at that, right? She can go anywhere now, and I've seen her. She went to Rome, and she saw great stuff in Rome that sells in Rome, but she mastered the area in which she lives
where
in.
everybody said, no, you can't do it.
Where, no, you can't do that. You won't make any money at it. And like, she's making fine money at it.
Yeah, she's doing
good. Sometimes we make our own excuses. That's another topic as well. But the other thing that, I would say is people that getting into travel photography, getting into landscape photography, that you have to also check how much are you spending on gear versus how much you're spending on travel. Because the gear, sometimes we spend an inordinate amount of resources on gear,
right? When
we should have bought the train ticket, when we should have bought the plane ticket, when we should have, bought the 5 tanks of gas,
right?
Because we think that, when we see that new lens that's coming out, that's going to somehow change it.
You get the 1.8, but you
I could have used my kit lens with a tracker for $300.
Right.
So it's all about that perspective thing of like, So but that's what my personal experience. I don't think that it's always been the deep pocket family money with professional, like people that do this professionally. Now again. The hard part too is you look at social media and you look at YouTube, and the life that people are showing there a lot of times is not reality as well.
Yeah,
that definitely comes up.
Definitely,
where you'll have people that what they're putting out to the world is not the reality of they're not as well to do as you would think. And again, I'm not fault. I mean, that's just what we do as society.
You see people with like a whole bag of lenses and how many did they actually use?
Yeah.
Right?
And then I know some of them that have a bag of lenses and they have $20,000, $30,000 worth of credit card debt. I mean, is that really living? I don't know.
Yeah.
Then you're beholden to credit card companies to do stuff. I don't know. So, anyways, don't want to get into that either. All right. We got to take another break.
Yep.
Got to take another break,
guys.
I got a question for you when we get back, though.
Okay.
This next question.
Awesome.
All right, so we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Yeah, Jib.
1, 2, 3, go! Hey everybody, Kirk Nelson here from Pixel Pro Photography, and I am down here again at KelbyOne Studios in Oldsmar, Florida. This is Photoshop Secrets for Speed and Style. Deadlines are looming, and you have to work smart and fast. I'm going to show you some of the best Photoshop features to optimize your workflow so you can make Photoshop work better for you, and you can actually hit your deadlines with time to spare for some of the creative work. We're talking about custom smart objects. We're talking about actions, custom brushes, and you can actually hit your deadlines with time to spare for some of the creative work. Only here at KelbyOne.com.
This is New York City. My name is Ali Rajabi, and welcome to my class, Street as a Studio, Seeing Light, Form, and Possibility. Every corner here holds something unexpected, a flash of light, a shadow, a gesture, a color that only lasts for a second. This class is about learning to recognize those moments, to see beyond the surface, and to create photographs that feels alive and intentional. It's not about perfection or post-processing, it's about vision, patience, and curiosity. We'll explore how to use light, people, and even everyday objects to build images that are thoughtful and full of a story. The street is your studio, wide open, unpredictable, and full of possibility. Let's step into it together and see what this amazing city offers.
All right, we're back, and we're asking. I got a question for Jason here. It's from Alan, right? What's the drone of choice?
It's a tough one because there's a lot of people going against DJI, but I still like DJI.
Oh, me too.
You know?
I still do.
I mean, but if you're working like
it's unfortunate.
government or anything, you can't use those.
I have that problem with the government stuff because I have to work in some government with the Space Force and NASA.
Yeah.
You can't use any DJI.
So
products.
I have my personal one. I have a DJI Mini 3.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like I just.
Yeah. So you don't have the top of the line.
I do not have the top of the line.
But you're creating great stuff.
Yep.
I've seen your stuff.
Yep.
So that's the thing is sometimes, again, we put these limitations on ourselves.
This is what I got it up right now. This is from the DJI
Let me ask
Mini.
you, maybe that's a still from the DJI Mini?
Yeah, DJI Mini.
Yep.
Look at that shot.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome.
Yep.
Right?
And that's Austin, Texas.
So let me ask you this. Maybe frame it up different. If you had the deep pocket travel photographer money, and you could buy any drone, what would you buy?
It'd still be a DJI.
I know, but which one? Which one?
Oh, I don't know. That's good.
Yeah, I know. They came out with like the Mavic 5 Pro. They've got the
Mavic kept going up.
Yeah.
Was the Inspire?
That's the big one,
that's
right?
That's a big one when you have two people.
Yeah, that's kind of.
That would be.
But see, I feel like I wouldn't want that because that's like too much.
Right.
I don't want 2 operators and all that stuff, especially not for what we do.
Yeah, I remember NAB. I did a drone class out in the desert, and they had one of those, and it totally crashed. And it exploded. It was like a grenade.
All right.
And the guy that's taking the picture.
So maybe the answer there is drone of choice is like whatever you've got.
Yeah, it's just like
you like the DJI though.
But yeah, it's just like with we keep saying with the iPhone, the Canon, the Sony, whatever works for you. You know, whatever you feel comfortable with. I like.
But you're a big fan of the pockets, the DJI.
Yeah,
pockets.
I love the DJI. I like DJI. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
They're great stuff.
Yeah.
I just wish they could work well U.S.
Yeah.
But again, don't want to get into geopolitical issues. Here.
Oh, and that might be a good segue because I wanted to show you guys. We just shot with Scott this week.
Yeah.
For a continuous lighting shoot.
Yeah.
And check out this video here. So this is our model, and there's Dobson in the background.
There's Dobson.
Lighting her up.
The north face.
And so we just did a full class, which will be edited soon. This is me just,
Yeah,
this is
so
raw footage.
This is raw footage. This is just your B-roll footage.
Yeah, so
this is B-roll. Yeah, this isn't even A-roll.
right. So this is all for Scott explaining how to do continuous lighting. We're using Westcott lighting. There's Juan in the background. There's Christina.
Hey.
And we had this nice little studio in Tampa.
Oh,
And we did
cool.
a few different light setups. Yeah, it was actually a really fun shoot.
Yeah. It looks fun.
And then I'll show you a couple pics here. So there was a camera view.
Yeah, so that's we use what's that, the C700?
Yeah, so this is a Canon C70 we were using.
70.
We had an iPhone 16 Pro Max for a wide shot.
Yeah, which
So
takes
that was
great
the .05.
Pro RAW and all
Yep.
that stuff.
And then
yeah.
Juan's doing this camera here with, so I got, this was the camera
two
I was on.
C70s
Yep.
on that one.
So I have audio going in here with a Rode mic, and then Juan shooting the model with this camera. You see his lens.
And you feel like
lens under
and
there.
again, because I know the questions that, I mean, I'm a more photographer, but I bounce through the video. You feel like the iPhone footage matches up well with the C70, right?
Oh, yeah, I can color balance it and make it look pretty close.
All right. Cool.
I mean, it takes a little bit of finagling. There's
But
look at
that's cool.
Dobson.
That's cool.
He's such an
That is
expert.
the Westcott lights he was using, yeah.
Yep. So we're showing how to use these lights.
I think those are new, aren't they?
Yeah. So you guys, no, I don't think anybody. I haven't even watched this footage.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
But that's the thing.
We're showing like this is totally raw footage, showing how to put it on. You know, so
yeah,
this is
because that's not even color graded at
Yep.
this point.
Yeah, and this is
That's
just from the
raw.
iPhone. Yep. So yeah,
Sweet.
it was actually a really fun shoot. So this is a great
Cool.
example.
That's a behind the scenes, yeah.
So he was doing the big softbox.
Octa.
Yep. And then this
And
one
then it
was
looks like
hitting,
he had a grid with a 1x4.
hitting the back of her hair right here.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was a fun shoot.
Very cool.
You guys will see that. I'll have to ask Christina when it's due. I'm going to have to edit it.
Yeah.
But, it'll
So
be
you
probably
got a
due
bunch
in
of
like
raw
2 or 3
footage.
weeks.
All right. All right. Dave from Georgia's asked a question here. Camera gear question. We love camera gear
Yep.
questions. I'm looking to move from the Nikon Z50 to a 5.2, a Z5.2. I have a Z28 to 400 f4. I love that lens. It's a great lens. What one lens would be good to add?
C28.
So I think you've got 28 to 400.
400,
You've
yeah.
got 28 to 400 covered.
I would
So-
do it wide.
Me too. So I'd probably look at, there's probably I know that there's a great 14 to 24 that
Yeah,
Nikon has.
14
It's
to
gonna
24 would be.
It's going to be
yeah.
a little pricey, but it's a great Milky Way lens too.
But if you got that
I would look at that, like that
Yeah,
14 to 24
24.
range, somewhere in there. Like if you could cover that 14 to 24,
You're going to have to buy another lens for it. ever.
you'd be like set.
Yep.
Because I mean, honestly, with your 28 to 400 and then 14 to 24, you've got pretty much, and really 24 to 28 is not not covering that.
And
Well,
then on the
that's
flip side, it
cropping.
depends too on what you're shooting. Like if you're doing like wildlife, maybe going the opposite, going and getting a 600 or something.
Yeah, but still, if you're already
400 is pretty good.
400, like you got to,
And you got a great camera.
You got to say to us, you're a wildlife photographer
Right.
at that point.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
Because then you're going to be
But
like,
your camera, you'll be able to crop in. Even
Yeah.
For the 400 is a great. I personally do the 100 to 400 for my my
Yeah.
telephoto stuff.
yeah. I don't know, man. If it was me, I'm with Jason. I'm going wide. I'm going like 14 to 24. That's why I love that 10 to 20. There isn't one on Nikon yet, but that's why I love that one.
Yeah.
So that way, again, you get the wide, and the other one's going to cover medium to telephoto, 28 to 400. That's great.
Yep.
So, all right, Sharon B. What's the best lens for taking Milky Way shots? Would you want to have a super wide like a 10 to 20? Again, the limitation with the 10 to 20 is it's f4. Means if I'm going to take a single exposure Milky Way, maybe the way I could explain it is this. The sky moves constantly, right? The
Yep.
sky is moving. So since the sky is moving, it doesn't matter how long I expose, I'm going to get starred trails.
Correct.
What I get is, how can I expose the sky the shortest amount of time where the stars are perceivably sharp? That's the key there.
Yep.
They're perceivably sharp. Your stars are never going to be sharp unless you add a star tracker.
Correct.
Right? They're always going to be a little blurry, you know, and you're going to have to, again, crank your ISO really high. And then they're going to, but again, all you're trying to do is get perceivably sharp. That's where like the MPF rule or the 500 rule kicks in.
So that's where you want your lower f-stop.
Yeah, and that's why you want that. So the best lens for Milky Way shots for a single exposure, you want to be 2.8 or below. Right? You want a wider f-stop, so 2.8 or wider, so 2.8 to 1.8, 1.4. But as you go down in those numbers, your price goes up.
Yep.
So you 1.4, your price is going to be really way up here.
Well, and you know the one I have, because I always go for the deals, but I got the 16 millimeter.
16 millimeter, 2.8. Well, that was Canon makes that one.
$400.
Actually, the 16 millimeter 2.8, I think, is $250.
Wow, it's gone down because I got when it first came out.
I got one. I got it actually on a deal one time for $199.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was
yeah, you can't go wrong.
Stupid.
I mean, we're
cheap.
We're talking Canon guys. I know there's other different manufacturers.
$250 right now.
This lens,
that lens right there
on Eric's. This one, I'm telling you,
you can see I purchased it.
I've used it so much. It's my workhorse.
So
it's super lightweight.
Yeah, I mean that's a great Milky Way lens for the price.
Right. It's not the best lens, but
it's not the best, but it's sharp. It's sharper than any EF lens I ever owned, including $3,000 or $4,000 EF lenses. So I can't complain. For $250, you're in the Milky Way game, right? Now again, you go to a tracker. You can use the lens you got. If you got a wide-angle lens right now, the 14 to 35 f4, you put a tracker on, you're up money, because for you to get a 15 to 35 2.8, you're going to spend over twice the amount of money than the f4. So, but again, tracker's not for everybody, because then you got to start learning Photoshop and you got to get good at Photoshop.
Yeah, I would start with the lens like that.
That 16 millimeter, like Jason's talking about, that's the best entry point right there. Yep. On Canon, Nikon and Sony make similar types. They're not as cheap, I will say, but
one,
there's
I'm not going to pronounce it right. Laowa.
Laowa.
Yeah. On the
Sony,
this
one.
I had a Laowa, and it was a manual lens. But that thing was amazing for night photography.
There is it 12 or was it? There's a 12. There's a 15.
Yeah.
There's a few of them, but you can see right here, like he's talking about. There's a 10 millimeter for Sony. It's $800. There's a 12 millimeter 2.8 for $700.
That's pretty close to what I had.
Yeah,
I think,
it's a little bit more expensive than what we just looked at.
Yep.
But they're nice too.
Yeah.
But those are manual.
Yeah,
I believe.
you have to.
It's all manual. But of course, if you're going to say night photography Milky Way, you're already manual anyways. You're not going to be auto-focusing and all that. The nice part about that 16 millimeter that he's talking about on Canon, you still got all the auto-focusing. So during the day when you're shooting with it, you got all the auto-focusing. It even has a control ring on it, which allows you to do a control ring. So for $250, a steal, I'm telling you. All right, Ken. What would you put in order of importance for night photography? Low-level lighting or star tracking? They're two different. They're actually, you just brought up my two favorite styles. Low-level light painting and star tracking with what I would call blue hour blending. Where I'm taking a blue hour shot, I'm taking a star track shot like you saw before, putting those together. And then low-level light painting is I'm doing it all in one exposure, but I'm lighting the foreground. Those are my two favorite styles. I have classes on both.
Yeah, we shot that one with Juan and I.
Yeah.
And you were at you tell me the name
Ghost
of the town.
Town, Nelson? Nelson Ghost Town?
Yeah, the Nelson Ghost Town.
Yeah.
That was right.
Yeah, I remember you were in the
I was
phone
thinking
booth.
that other one, the
we had you
18.
Yeah.
What was it, 18?
1880s Town was the one where we did low-level lighting with Milky Way.
Yep.
Right. So you could do the Milky Way with that, and then you can also do light painting. I mean, I love, but those are the two that I really love. But if I'm going to put it in order of importance, this is a personal preference thing. Some people like one exposure. If you like one exposure, low-level light painting or low-level lighting. So doing like the low-level light painting stuff. If you like detail and getting the depth and dimension of your image and having it be almost to that point of surreal, star tracking. Those are the two different things. Some people, and I like both equally as good. So to me, like, what's the order of importance? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know which one's more important. I would say this is a personal preference thing. I like them both.
Yeah.
What do you like better? Do you like doing it in one exposure? Or you like kind of doing the more surreal
I just
stuff?
talking today. I want to do my next goal is the Star Tracker.
Yeah.
I need to do that because I haven't done that.
Yeah, I mean, you're good at Photoshop stuff, so
Yep.
I think you'll be just fine.
Yep, that's my next purchase.
Yeah, and actually, that's not the exact kit that I would get. I dropped the ball head because I already have a ball head. If you didn't have a ball head to put on top of your Nomad, that's a great kit.
Okay.
But there's one other kit that doesn't have the ball head that's, I think, $349.
Yeah.
I already have a ball head, so I don't need to buy another ball head. But that's what I would get. But that kit right there is great. I mean, that's $379. I think $349 is the one that I would get. All right. And then Christy Kuna is asking, what are you cooking for dinner tonight? And let's see. I think we were making hamburgers tonight.
Yum.
If I'm not.
You can't go wrong with
I don't
hamburgers.
recall. So I'll be home soon, and then we'll.
I'm
cook
doing
dinner.
lobster.
Lobster, awesome. Yeah, you must have those travel photography pockets.
Yeah, right. Big, deep pockets.
Deep pockets. All right. Yeah, I think we're having burgers, and I don't know what else. And obviously, my daughter will have something carb. She's a carbaholic, so
Okay.
we'll have that. Of course, she can be a carbaholic. Oh my gosh, she's constantly doing something. She's
Yeah.
like she rides horses.
Yeah, I
and
remember
does
when I
all this
could
stuff.
burn calories.
So. Yes, I remember too. It's been a long time, but I can remember that too. All right. Well, we got some prizes here. So we got Gary Ferris has won the night photography book. So we'll be
Awesome.
sending that
Good job,
out to you,
man.
Gary. Calvin Kendall has won the Lightroom Classic book.
Perfect.
Gary Lapio, I think Lapio, is winning the
That would be
Platypod.
Lapio.
Lapio? Yeah, okay. Is winning the Platypod handle. Laura Stoltz is winning the On One No Noise. And Kendra Koski is winning the iPhone book.
Perfect.
So there you go. We already have your information. We already have your stuff. We'll send out your prizes, so you'll see those next week. All right. Well, thanks, Jason. I really appreciate you coming on. That was really cool. They can check you out over on Instagram,
Yeah,
right?
I got my Instagram here.
Yeah, you can go over to Jason Ralph Stevenson.
I used to be the digital surgeon.
AKA Digital Surgeon, AKA Dark
Yeah.
Request. That
Oh,
was
and
the
Dark
early-
Request. So
that was
my
the
old
early
ones,
one.
my old Instagram ones turned into don't look at those.
Don't look at
Someone else took them over and they're horrible.
So-
But this is Jason Ralph Stevens. That's me now.
Yes. And I love your stuff, man.
Yeah,
you,
thanks.
You get to, well, I mean, you get to, it's cool to be able
Yeah,
to
this is
travel
from
all these places.
the summit.
Look at that summit shot. Like, oh, that one through, the one over. Yeah, I love
This
that.
one.
Where you got like through and did the bokeh.
Yep.
I think you shot through the bar there.
Yeah, there's
right?
a bar. So these lights are all from glasses.
Glasses on
Like
the bar.
beer cans or not beer bottles. I should say bottles.
Yeah, so it created those like
Yep.
specular little circles like the bokeh. Oh,
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
love that.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch, and this is me and you.
Oh, look at there. They were out in the Milky Way capturing your Jeep.
This is the Milky Way coming over, a time lapse.
Yeah. And we're out there with your Jeep. I love that Jeep.
Yep. Yeah, we definitely had to go 4-wheel drive because this was all washed out from the hurricanes.
Yes.
All the roads were.
Boy,
we actually
it was
cut off
really-
by one road because of the hurricanes.
Yeah, it was all damaged from the
But
hurricane.
yeah.
Oh, and there's the Badlands.
This was with Eric too. I believe
Yeah,
this was with you.
I love that. That's Badlands.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thanks guys. Check me out.
Yeah,
I'll
check it
follow you
out.
back for sure.
Yeah, Jason Ralph Stevenson.
Yep.
All right. All right. Well, that's it. That's
Yep.
it for the show. So we will be here back next week. And if you're in our VIP membership, we'll see you just in a couple hours.
Yeah, and I don't come on to him much, so it'll probably be Scott again.
Yes, it'll probably be Scott again. But we'd love to have Jason back anytime. I love talking to Jason.
Yep.
It's great. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys next week. Adios.
Adios.